This episode is sponsored by Shutterstock.com. With over 20 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. For 30% off, head on over to Shutterstock.com and use offer code Gamebreaker7. This episode is also brought to you by Audible. For a free 30-day trial and to receive a free audiobook, just head on over to audible.com/Gamebreaker.
Gamebreaker TV.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to GuildCast Episode 77 for July 3rd, 2013. I'm Gary again. You're watching Gamebreaker TV. Today, we got content. Just keeps on coming in. The Bazaar of the Four Winds is almost here, and not all is well with the new jumping puzzle, all that and more. But first, from Bog Otter and massively, Mr. Richard Procopio. How are you, sir?
Hello, Gary. I'm doing well.
How's that tooth? Checking in. Two thumbs up.
I have to go. One more time to get the cosmetic thing worked out, but it is healed and feeling good.
God, you're so vain. You're so vain. You gotta get the cosmetic thing. You gotta get a tooth lift.
It's flat and prone to cracking, apparently, unless they put the crown on it. So,
probably.
But yeah, healed.
Nice. Good for you. And joining us as always, Mr. Matt Unvisual. No, Matt Visual. Matt _ Visual.
How you doing?
What's happening, bro?
Good.
Dude, your mohawk fro is looking extra high today. It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's good.
I let it dry a little bit. Once it dries, it just gets higher and higher, like a loaf of bread in the oven. So.
Oh, I was gonna say like Samson. Wasn't Samson? It was strength is in the hair.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, so check this out. ArenaNet, we've been talking about this for a while, and the cadence, that's the buzzword of 2013, cadence of content, the interval between releasing content, it continues just to boggle the mind. So they're making it extremely easy to do this show. Thank you so much. I'm sure that's exactly why they did this, just so Guildcast can make sure that they have content every single week. But the next major content update is coming on July 9th, exactly 2 weeks after the Sky Pirates arrived. What do you guys, is this like setting the new tone with this 2 week thing is like really, it's become a thing. And I wonder like how many other MMO companies out there are looking at this going, is this almost going to become the norm? Do we have to start actually doing large content updates or content updates to some extent every single 2 weeks?
Pretty crazy, huh?
It's impressive. Yeah. It's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you make a great point. It's great for shows like this, right? And also, Matt and I do YouTube videos about Guild Wars, so it's perfect. We constantly have stuff to talk about, you know,
which is really a big deal. I mean, you would think, I know, like, I'm not really making a joke about it. I mean, it's a big deal that there's like, you know, the entire media in general, YouTube, all the media outlets, you know, even news articles being written. Like, this gives them a constant flow of news out on the internet every 2 weeks, even for the larger sites that maybe don't cover Guild Wars 2 like we do, you know, right. It's more of a major story that I think you're gonna see pop up again. I actually noticed this, like, I don't know if you guys know, you know, like sites like even like PC Gamer and stuff. I feel like they cover these stories. Yep. I don't see them covering MMOs all that often. Yet when Guild Wars 2 drops something every 2 weeks, it seems like they cover it.
Yeah, there's constantly something to talk about. And, you know, and Gary, you should know this as well as anyone. It's kind of like a full-time job just following it, right? And reporting on it. So it's an interesting take on how they're doing this. You know, like you said, not many companies are doing this, if any companies are doing this. And you know, we always knew that ArenaNet and Guild Wars, the franchise, kind of, you know, walks to the beat of their own drum a little bit. Mm-hmm. And So I don't know if this is necessarily a trend-setting thing, which we're going to see more often, but it's definitely, different than what we've experienced with other MMOs. And, it's good to see ArenaNet just saying, you know what, we're not going to do what everybody else is doing. This is what we're doing. And, some people like it, some people don't like it. And, it's going to be great for the fans that are really sticking around and playing the game every week.
I don't think I don't think there's any backlash to this. I mean, of course, not every content patch every 2 weeks is going to be like this stellar patch, right? I mean, there's going to be weeks where some are better than others and things like that. But I guess the other company that kind of started something similar in a different way, but I think it really did help the media, was Star Wars: The Old Republic, right? I mean, they year out they made sure that they had a piece of content as far as news goes, like on their website, every single week. Every week they had something new up, which really is great in the world of social media and sharing and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all that kind of good stuff. So, it's we were kind of skeptical, I think, to some extent, to see if they could actually keep this up, but it looks like we've actually got an official press release, and this is like official, like they're going completely balls out and just being like, yep, we're really doing this. So if you guys are doubtful that ArenaNet can actually pull this off, I wouldn't blame you, but check this out. So they said ArenaNet today announced it has formalized plans to maintain a 2-week major release cadence for Guild Wars 2 and revealed the latest content update to the game's living story, Bazaar of the Four Winds, scheduled to go live on July 9th. ArenaNet has been delivering new content to Guild Wars 2 at an increased pace since January and is now maintaining a 14-day rate, bringing players exciting new features, events, rewards, and storylines at a frequency unmatched by any other Western studio. Today's decision affirms the studio's continued commitment to that effort and means players can expect Tyria to remain one of the most frequently updated and best supported online worlds in the industry. Wow. So no question about it. We wondered if they would actually make this thing official. I think we all had our doubts that they would like go on out on a limb and actually officially say this, but boom, there it is. Every 14 days, we're getting a major update. It's definitely genuinely impressive. Matt, you have content to make.
Yes, I do. It has to be good content, though, of course. But I gotta say, I've been liking the last patch, and this patch that's coming out now. They're like the last patch was the skills and traits, and now this one is gonna be the whole achievement system, and they're overhauling all this stuff, and that stuff is permanent. It may not be permanent PvE content like dungeons and stuff, but it's still something that's helping out the game. And every 2 weeks. I mean, I'm not going to say like every patch is going to have something so substantial that's changing the game like that, but so far it's been pretty good.
The cool thing too is that, sometimes some of the other companies releasing patches, like I won't name names, but there's been certain types of players that have been kind of left out in the cold a bit. And they're kind of waiting really long periods of time for patches like that. So for Guild Wars 2 players, it's like, maybe there'll be a big PvP patch, but then next week, hopefully in 2 weeks, they can kind of balance it out and give the PvE or something, so they can kind of keep everybody kind of pretty much happy. Has the community been mostly positive to this? Do they want sort of these smaller, sort of faster paced patches rather than like bigger, huge content packs every like couple months?
I mean, you have different types of people that play Guild Wars 2. You have the type of people that work all week and they don't have time to really play the game during the week, so they don't really burn through content as much as everybody else does. So they wait till the weekend and they do the dungeon and all that type of stuff. So they can play the game and they're happy that they have always something to do, and they're probably not even level 80 yet. And then they have the hardcore people who are constantly online and they play games every single day. Some of them are happy that they have something to do, and some of them want a little bit more permanent content, right? And I guess that's the trade-off there with the every 2 week things. Like every 2 weeks, you're probably not gonna get like some super crazy PvE content that you can play through.
Sure, but let's be realistic here. That they've got different groups of people running sort of on different schedules here, and they've got certain things that they're cranking out quickly, and then they've got the larger scale, bigger picture sort of grandiose events that are also being developed in the background that take more time. So it's just a matter of like,
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, because like this patch was PvE, right? And now we have a new PvE map. I mean, not PvE, PvP map. So that's pretty cool. So that's coming out this patch. So I feel like it's been kind of spaced out, and then now like it seems to be catching up. They have all this content kind of backed up, and now every 2 weeks they're gonna pop some of this out. So they have this content was probably made like a month back, and after they started making this PvP map, they started on something else new, and then kept going like that. Just have
Speaking
like
of PvP map,
cycle.
I hear you're getting into PvP. What's this nonsense all about? What are you doing over here?
Well, see, other than the events, there's not much going on in PvE, so I would decide to try the PvP. And I heard that, like, Grouch was saying last game, that last show, that there's not much community for it. So I kind of want to get into it. And a lot of people who are in PvP right now, they say it's fun and they enjoy it, but people just kind of feel scared to get in because they get smashed on as soon as.
So what have you done? What have you done so far? I think you've just released your second video, and like you're kind of like, are you kind of documenting your PvP training, so to speak?
Yeah, Winning Potatoes is teaching me PvP. It's in that type of style. So we start from the basics, and now in the second episode, we're actually going, and he's teaching me what's the different styles and different roles of players. You know, you have your bunkers, your roamers, and your different types of roamers, and all this craziness that I'm learning now. And definitely we're getting into builds next.
What do you think of it? I mean, what do you think? Because you're traditionally a PvE player, right?
Yeah.
And not even just Guild Wars 2, but across the board, are you pretty much a PvEer in most games in general?
Most of the times I am. I like cooperative play instead of like PvP. I get into PvP sometimes, but it's never really, it's like 20% of my time.
So what do you think's what do you think's helping the most out of the entire scenario to get you in? Is it that you've got somebody there to kind of like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but just like hold your hand, so to speak, to kind of like run you through the ropes and kind of like, take a little bit of the intimidation factor off and kind of get you up and running and really kind of show you what's going on rather than just like throw you to the wolves?
Definitely. Because I think, I don't know, with Guild Wars 2 PvP, I don't see it you just walking in and you just learning everything. I don't see that at all. When I walked in, I was like, okay, maybe I need to, I kind of get it, like, okay, one person needs to probably stay here and defend. But if you don't have a team coordinated around that, especially in Hot Join, it doesn't really, like, everyone's everywhere and people just leave points. No one wants to stay there. No, people want to just do what they want. So it's just like, you can't really learn from other people when you go inside of Hot Join and stuff like that. You really need someone to really, or you need some source, a site or a video, for instance.
It's almost too bad
what's going on.
It's almost too bad. Like I almost talking through this, like what I was getting at, I'm having flashbacks of EVE Online, and I'm almost like, I almost wish a small group of players would kind of step forward and create like the dojo or something, the Guild Wars 2 dojo, and go training. Well, because there's EVE University, and there's an entire group of players that have dedicated their entire existence in the game to basically teaching new players how to play EVE. Like that is what they do. They get a lot of gratification out of like finding new players who are pretty new and being like, yeah, sure, we'll come and teach you how to fly your ship properly. We'll teach you like, how to engage. We'll show you all the little stuff that like is really tough to kind of figure out. It'd be really interesting for a group of players to get together in Guild Wars 2 and maybe create the same thing, like make a website, sign up form, team you up with somebody who knows some stuff. I think a lot of players would actually really benefit from something like that.
It's a good use for your custom arena, Matt. Matt Visuals Dojo. There you go.
Matt Visuals Undojo.
Oh gosh.
Cool. I want to check it out. I want to get some more updates on your PvP escapades and see how that progresses. So that's gonna be really interesting. Go check it out. It's on his channel. What do you think? So going back to the story here, they claim that they're unmatched by any other Western studio. What do you think, Richie? Could you argue with that? Does anyone even really come close out there?
I mean, I don't play every MMO, so I don't know exactly, but from the ones that I look at and the ones that are in, all of the news sites and stuff like that, I mean, Rift for a while was known for having a very kind of agile development cycle, right? And that fell off after a while. But you know what? We've been doing the show a long time now, and I remember saying, maybe 6 or 7 months ago that I was surprised we were getting a release every month. Like, that was shocking to me. So every 2 weeks kind of blows my mind a bit. I forget where exactly they put this, but there was an interview or a source somewhere that they actually have, this is how they're kind of doing this. They have 4 development teams that are working concurrently, right? Mm-hmm. And they have, so every month there's a new team that presents their patches, and they do 2 patches, right? So they're responsible for like a mid-month and an end-month patch. So they split what they're developing into 2. And I think this is why we saw in like January, February, March, we saw like a lot less content coming out, right? The Living Story started, but it was really taking a long time to kind of ramp up. But now we're seeing these teams hitting what they've done, and they basically get 4 months to produce this content. So when we see stuff like Dragon Bash and Sky Pirates, these are more substantial updates, and then we're gonna talk about the Bazaar of the 4 Winds, in a minute here. But I'm very surprised, and I wouldn't be shocked to hear that this is the fastest content producing MMO in the West at this point. It's pretty impressive.
You said, like what you said by the West, by his statement there, I almost wonder what Eastern studio they could possibly be talking about. I mean, there's so many that we don't even cover. Or
well, Maple Story definitely does that. Like I don't know if every 2 weeks, but a certain around that area. Every week they would probably have like some type of little event, but I'm pretty sure every 2 weeks, like Maple Story and quite a few other type of Korean MMOs, they throw out events like it's nothing. So definitely for a Western developing, game to have this is actually pretty cool. And then for Guild Wars 2, it's very needed, and I've been enjoying myself pretty much every time I've logged in, especially that new jumping puzzle as well.
We're going to talk about that.
And there was an interview that's very recent as well that it basically alluded to the fact that they are doing very well financially, and that this kind of model is enough to sustain them. So they're not going to release any numbers, or at least they haven't. But this kind of like the cadence, that buzzword, is definitely helping them. Bringing players in on bringing players back with no subscription fee on a regular basis, and constantly having these new items timed to the gem store on a limited time basis. It's really working for them, and they're able to have 4 teams creating separate content. And one of the key things about this is, again, I can't remember where the source of my information, but they said something like on the back end, they're able to continue working on coding their specific team's content even as it's being updated on live, right? So like, typically if you don't have like the infrastructure in place to kind of facilitate that, it becomes a mess, right? You can't be developing content if the build's changing based on other teams' content out there, right? So they figured out some way on the engineering side to make it so, we can keep developing, and it's not going to mess things up when we try to go live with our build, even though we've been developing on a build that it's maybe like 2 or 3 patches back. So they have some sort of way to kind of mitigate the problems associated with that, and it's allowing 4 separate teams to kind of do their content simultaneously, and it's really paying off. It's really, really awesome to see.
Definitely cannot argue with that. So I guess that gem store is doing quite well. I guess it's working. Let's talk about the update really quick. I want to talk to you guys about Audible. Gotta stop for a quick commercial break from our sponsors. Love the Audible. Want to hook you guys up with a free audiobook. Yes, I said a free audiobook and free 30-day trial. If you guys haven't checked it out, Audible audiobooks on your iOS device or Android, anything you got, iPad, iPhone. What am I listening here? Oh.
How many 10 days have we hunted through these tunnels for our renegade brother? Dinan's expression revealed his sarcasm as he motioned the thoughts. Breeza scowled at him and did not reply. She cared for this tedious duty even less than he.
Nice.
Now, for some unexplained reason, joined the family, relegating Breeza to a lesser position. 5? Denon continued, his anger growing with each darting movement of his slender fingers. 6? How long has it been, sister? He pressed. How long has Shinena been sitting at Matron Malice's side? Breeze's snake-headed whip came off her belt, and she spun angrily on her brother. Denon, realizing that he had gone too far with his sarcastic prodding, defensively drew his sword and tried to duck away.
Sorry, I gotta stop it because I want to just keep listening to it. I'm like, how long is this gonna? Like everybody's like, how long is this ad gonna go? And I'm like, well, I'm getting caught up in the story. That is Exile, one of the books by R.A. Salvatore. I highly, highly, highly recommend checking out that book. It's part of the Forgotten Realms Dark Elf trilogy right there. And you could download this one today as one of your free books. All you got to do is use the URL audible.com/Gamebreaker, make an account, sign up, download the app, put it on your device, and download that. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that one. Check it out. It's called Exile, Legend of Drizzt. It's the Dark Elf trilogy by R.A. Salvatore, and you could choose that as one of your free books. There's a bunch of other great, there's a lot of other R.A. Salvatore stuff on there. A lot of the Dungeons and Dragons stuff is on there, Gauntled Grim, all those, and really, really awesome stuff. Highly, highly recommend that one to check it out. So go check it out today.
I was gonna say, I wonder how long before Sea of Sorrows, the new Guild Wars 2 novel, is before it comes out on Audible. That'd be cool.
That would be really interesting. I'd love to see that. Hopefully, they're working on that right now. All right, so I suppose we should actually talk about what's coming in the update. Seems like a good idea. So the Bazaar of the Four Winds is arriving on July 9th. What's the story on this, Rich? What's the story on this one?
You know what? We don't know a lot about it. Like so far, it's basically this Bazaar of the Four Winds is a gathering of merchants and stuff converging from everywhere in Tyria, and apparently there's this flying Zephyr Sanctum that is going to land and bring like magical crystals and movement skills to the world. I mean, that's really all we know about it at this point. There's not a lot of like lore, or we don't know exactly how it connects to what's been going on with Dragon Bash and the Pirates yet, or if it's connected. But yeah, I mean that the preview page just launched on. You're showing it right now on Guild Wars website, and really all we know is the tiny little 100-word paragraph at the beginning. So I don't know how it ties into the story just yet, but it comes with a lot of cool features.
They're doing a bunch of events around this as well. So they got the developer live stream on the 8th, new mini game beginning on the 9th. What is Sanctum Spirit? Take part in the Sanctum Spirit of comprehend. Oh, a competitive race that will send you leaping over barriers and flying through the air. You'll need to use cunning agility and some special skills to navigate this dizzying obstacle course. That sounds like fun. Lessons from the Sky beginning on July 9th. So you got new rewards, aspect back items, personal quartz node. I don't know, Matt. What are you thinking about this new PvP map, Skyhammer? Is that
that's what we were talking about before, right? Skyhammer.
Yeah.
What could Skyhammer be? And now here it is. Seems pretty cool.
That's about all we got there. One shot.
They have a video of the new PvP map.
Yeah.
Is that the? Do you think the PvP map is that the big draw right now for?
I think a lot of people are into PvE right now. I don't think I've brung thousands over to PvP just yet, but I think for the PvPers, they're going to be happy, definitely, for a new map. Because all the maps always have more detail to them. It's not just the map. It always has some type of second objective, and somewhat the strategy just changes for that map. Each map has its own strategy and its own people that go do this and go on a treb and use the cannons and grabs the orbs that brings it to the points, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm glad to see this one, because this one looks pretty awesome. The map actually looks beautiful. So I can't
the map does look beautiful. Yeah. Everything is Zora inspired, obviously, and it looks gorgeous. Looks like a great layout.
Yeah.
I want to jump back for a second because I'm intrigued by this mini game. What the hell is this Belcher's Bluff thing? Something about drinking? How does this work, Rich?
I don't know. I read a post, and this is very unfortunate because this is a gap in my knowledge. I read a post on Reddit from one of the developers. They basically said that there is like a mini drinking game in the Order of Whispers personal storyline. And I've done the Vigil storyline and the Dorman Priory storyline, but I have not done the Order of Whispers. So I don't know what he's talking about. But he basically said it's like a new and improved version of a mini game in that storyline. And yeah, part of it sounds really cool that you go out through the world and you have to interact with some other NPCs and learn different skills to actually then challenge people in this like PvP drinking game or whatever. And this is kind of a little bit reminiscent to some things in Guild Wars 1 where, you know, they had the Polymock mini game where you actually collected miniatures and different things to get and unlock, you know, kind of you know, new abilities and stuff like that. But also Guild Wars 1 just had the whole ability finding thing where, you know, you would unlock new skills for your character by, you know, capturing them from different bosses and stuff like that. So there's a lot of speculation going about what this minigame is really going to entail. And just the fact that it's called Belcher's Bluff. I mean, how could you not love that?
How could you not? What do you guys take on this other thing? So there's also this, like I said, this racing event called the Sanctum Spirit, but they don't actually call this one a mini game, did they? And no mention of this being permanent. Matt, do you have any speculations on how this is going to work?
I wonder. I mean, every time I see that, Motor Race comes to mind. I wonder if, like, they didn't add PvP mode to it like they did for the mini game. So I'm wondering, maybe it's in the real world, and how would they disable buffs? Even if they just kind of you go inside of it. Maybe it's an instance, maybe, that people can just join in. That's weird, though. I like to see it and how that actually works. They found new ways to actually control your characters. Because, I mean, you could just use speed buffs.
They say in there that you can fly through the air and that you're going to use new special skills to actually go through the obstacle course. So, I don't know. It just sounds pretty awesome. It sounds like, I don't know.
Airships?
I'm thinking more like Mario Kart. Like, I don't know. This is another one of those, like, surprises out of nowhere, right? Like, you know, with Super Adventure Box it was like, what are you doing with your game? Like, so now we've had a bunch of different PvP, like, mini games in the game, and jumping puzzles and different things, and now they're going to have, like, these competitive races, maybe? I don't know. And you might have a new hotbar with an ability to, you know, leap really high and, you know, soar through the air or glide for a few seconds or whatever. You got to try to get through this, and, you know, I don't know. It sounds really fun. I think it's going to be another one of those unique things that we haven't seen very often in an MMO. So I'm excited to see what Sanctum
And it looks
Sprint
like they're
is.
also hitting like all the different types of players out there as well. So the Lessons from the Sky definitely sounds like something the explorers out there are really going to like. So a scavenger hunt on the Labyrinth Cliffs. Is this place in game already, or is this a new location?
It's new. There's no place Labyrinth Cliffs that I'm aware of.
Let's explore the Labyrinth Cliffs in this scavenger hunt, which will lead you in a search of sky crystals. Show your mastery of wind, sun, and lightning as you find your way to hard-to-reach places. So, sounds like explorers are going to love that, whatever that means.
We saw the concept art, and I've never seen a place look like that. Looks a little bit like Kanto, but it's like, what's this? What's this place?
Who knows? I don't know. Hunting sky crystals, showing mastery of wind, sun, and lightning. What F does that mean? I don't know. Who knows?
They're crazy.
They're out of their minds.
This patch may have some meat. Some meat there, man. It's looking pretty good.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Got some new back items as well. So competing in the Sanctum Spirit Racing event gives you a chance at three new back items, looking something like this.
Can I get on my soapbox a little bit here?
Absolutely.
Can we stop with the back pieces? Like,
I was going to say the same thing.
Please, because here's the thing. Almost all of them look pretty cool. I enjoy most of the back pieces, and I have them. But because you can only wear one back piece, and because that's the skin they keep changing, like, they just sit in my bank, right? I'm like, all right, in case I ever want to make a theme around Dr. Octopus, I'll put the Sclerite card back piece there. Or if I want a flower theme, that one is there. It's like, if you spend the money and the time to get an Ascended back piece, all right, you get it, you put your skin on it that you want, you're not going to get that over and over again, so you can just interchange back pieces whenever you feel like it. So you're really going to be stuck with one, and the rest of them are going to sit in your back. Stop with the back pieces. Stop.
Yeah, I guess they're giving people a chance who missed the other events that didn't get a back piece to get it. But still, like, I have too many back pieces, and I would like to wear all of them, but as you said before, I could only wear one that's my ascended back piece that I transferred my skin over. I can't keep doing that because of the way how the transmutation system works. So yeah, I'm going to get it, and it's going to go inside my bank, which I have no space for.
No more back pieces. Everybody's gonna start revolting. Have like an in-game protest. Get everybody like screaming outside of Lion's Arch, just chanting, "No more back pieces." This is actually really interesting. So once you've completed the meta achievement for this release, your home instance will update with a daily resource node, allowing you to mine quartz. And this is, fill me in, this is a brand new resource, isn't it? Do we know what quartz is even going to be used for?
Not yet. There seems to be no recipes, but I mean, if they're adding it to the game, then it has to be some good recipes with it. It can't be just like, oh, you get to make food, level 10 food or something like that. It has to be something good. And it's in the personal instance because, I mean, who uses their home instance? I have never, ever been in my home instance since
no one has.
My personal story.
Yeah.
Like, no one goes in there. There's no point to it. So I wonder. And
finally,
if
finally there's a use.
Yeah, there's a use for it. If they're gonna make home instance like a thing, I really think they should add like a portal in Lion's Arch. Since everyone's in Lion's Arch, have a portal to your home instance from Lion's Arch. That would be pretty cool. I don't know. I'm asking too much, but if they actually start using it like that.
I mean, how do you guys sort of like interpreting this? Do you interpret this as like a really, because on one hand you could say like, well, maybe this is just a little minor thing. Like you said, the home instance has been really kind of neglected up until this point. It's been, well, pretty much completely ignored. I don't know. Is this like a minor thing, or could this actually be some part of something much larger that, you know, that they're really sort of building up to?
These are the type of like previews and patch notes that I love about Guild Wars 2 is every once in a while they just give you a head scratcher. You're like, what is this? I love it. We've been talking for a while that this is definitely one of the most underutilized features of the game. We hyped this before launch. Oh, personal instance can be great. It reflects your choices in the personal story, and no, it just doesn't, and it's useless, and no one goes there. So now there's the first little thing. We're gonna actually be going to this. We're gonna go to their personal home instance every day to mine our quartz for these new recipes that we're not even sure what they are yet. But I definitely think this is the start of something. This is a trend. We're going to see more and more be added to it. It might even, develop into our housing feature, right? This might be something that, as we unlock meta achievements for the living story, we see more and more things added to our home instance. So I'm excited to see what quartz can do for us, and it should be cool.
Well, our main man, Eduardo, our main man from Mexico, chimed in. Do you guys know Eduardo? You guys know Eduardo?
Yes.
All right. We do a show called After Dark. You should all watch it. It's live every Tuesday night at 9 PST. And we do a video game live call-in show where you, the viewers, actually call in live and ask questions. We take live callers on air, no script, unscripted, no notes, just whatever we got. Eduardo is a regular on that show. He's got his own, it's called Eduardo's Corner, it's actually called.
He's actually submitted a GuildCast question before as well.
Yes. So he's a regular around the Gamebreaker crew. Well, he's actually chimed in on this subject and sent us a video. So let's see. I have not watched this yet. I'm a little scared. Let's see what Eduardo has to say.
Hello, this is Eduardo from Mexico. So ArenaNet said that they are going to add a new mineral node in the home instance and a new account-wide achievement system that will reward players with new armor skins and weapon skins. So do you think that maybe the home instance will become the new Hall of Monuments, but with Guild Wars 2 rewards? I mean, well, that they will add not only the mineral node, but maybe a vendor too that will reward you with transmutable skins.
Wow. What do you think?
I think that's if they're adding the node in there, they're pushing for something big. It seems like ArenaNet's always sliding something real small and develops on it. You know, it always starts real small. They're laying down that ground floor, and hopefully they do this right. They add the node in. The node, it may not, the recipes may not come out in this patch. I don't know, or maybe they will, but probably you can use that to get the precursor scavenger hunt that everyone's been waiting for, or something like that, or something that works into a lot of big rewards in the end. I think definitely they can use the home instance and kind of expand upon it and create it into something really good where you can actually get rewards from maybe your I don't think we found out where we get our rewards for our achievement points yet, so it may be in there. So that could be the Hollow Monuments, yeah. Definitely.
So far, I'm watching chat room as you're talking there, and a lot of the chat room is agreeing with Eduardo, going, man, he hit it on the nose. What do you think, Rich?
Yeah, when they introduced Hall of Monuments in Guild Wars 1, it was a whole new thing, right? You wanted to play the game and unlock all the trophies for this little instance, right? The more mini pets you had, you could show them off there on display. The more story content that you completed, the campaigns, you could actually display your banners for that. The rare weapons that you unlocked, you could display them. The suits of armor that you unlocked, you could display them. And it was just a really cool instance. Just go in and establish your, just basically see what you've earned in the game. And I think that his idea is awesome. It would be great if the home instance, the personal story instance in Guild Wars 2 became kind of like, your trophy room. All right, so yeah, I play through the Bazaar of the Four Winds. I've unlocked the Quartz node. I can go there and mine it for the new recipes that they put in. But then the next patch, they put another meta achievement in. Hey, if I do all the achievements for that, now I got this new thing that else I can do. And it becomes more and more of a place where you can show off the things that you've accomplished in the game. And I love the idea of a vendor that you could just, always grab the stuff that you've unlocked. And I think, Matt, you might be right. Maybe the home instance is the place where you go to collect your achievement rewards. That would be another great.
It's a place to hang your back pieces. That's where it is. It's a place to hang your back.
That's right.
O'Brien's sitting there watching right now. O'Brien's like, holy shit, that's a great idea. Get those guys on that. Make sure you make that. It's the Hall of Monuments. Make it happen. That's great.
Put a coat hanger up there.
All I can think about is housing. Every time I hear home instance, like, make it into housing. Make it into housing. Make it into housing.
Going back to quartz for a second. I mean, you definitely want to unlock it, but this can't be the only source of it, right? Do you think it's going to be just like only your node at your home has that ability? Like, it seems kind of odd. I don't know. And then the other thing I was thinking, do you think it's going to be account wide?
I think it's a regular. I think it's a regular thing, isn't it? It's just a regular one that you can sell in the trading post and everything like that. It's not like a compound. It's a new node. It's a new material, so that you can use for crafting items. So I think it's something you can sell and everything.
I don't know. You know what? You unlock it by doing the meta achievement for the Bazaar of the Four Winds. So that allows me to believe that it's account wide. So you probably can only mine that once a day per account or something like that.
That's what I was wondering. If there's going to be some sort of a cap.
Yeah, I would think you can only do it once a day on your account, and so it's going to be a pretty scarce material for a while, unless they give you another way to do it. But I don't know. I don't know how would they do that. I do think it's interesting that the new rarest material is going to be quartz. You've got gold and platinum and mithril and orichalcum and now we're maybe it
harnesses some amazing energy, some crystal somehow that who knows? I don't know. Making something up.
Next we'll be going for shale.
Shale would be a good one. Yeah, shale. All right, moving on. Something for the PvP fans. A new map, Skyhammer. We talked a little bit about it, showed it off. So we have, there's some data mined hints of this. Good to know that information was legit and we guessed right. But 3 capture points, like we were talking about before, with a cannon as a secondary objective. Not a new game type, then. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Are you okay with the fact, Richie? Are you okay with? Let me ask the PvP expert, actually, our resident PvP expert, Matt Visual. I don't know. Are you okay with that? Not really a new game type.
I was hoping when I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, they got King of the Hill, right? Where it's like everyone runs up the hill to capture that 1 point, but no, it wasn't. But I mean, it's fine if it's what works right now, you know. Then sure, make the map revolve around that. But I think they are working on some new modes that they're coming up with, especially with the new custom arenas. They're kind of thinking of new ways. It may be in the works. I'm pretty sure. I mean, no one's just sitting there. The PvP guys are just not sitting there like, yeah, we're good with just this one mode. It'll be fine. You know, one mode.
You know what's really funny? You know what's funny about the hut ball thing? Like, it's you know how like when MMO developers copy other games and they like, you know, they put something in the game that's like an obvious nick from another game. Like most gamers, like, you know, lazy. You guys suck. Give us something new. Think of your own.
Right.
Hutball, like everybody wants it. Like everyone wants it. Everyone's just like, can you please put this in the game? Like, just steal it. Just put it in the game. We want it. It's such a good game mode. It's definitely the best thing that ever came out of that game. Hutball is SWTOR, Star Wars: The Old Republic, where it's almost by simplicity's sake football, but not really. You know, where you actually have a ball and you can pass it to your other teammates and things like that. And you have to actually run to the other side of the map to basically score a goal and run over. And you know, it's a brilliant PvP game. Like, it's brilliant
with flame pits.
There's flame pits. There's obstacles. It's like, you know, it's like, what's that show?
And
Is
it
it
totally do that? And they do the same thing with keg brawl.
Yeah.
It's not. It's similar.
It's not the same, of course, but I'm saying you can still pass to people and stuff, so it's possible for it to happen.
You need the frog dogs versus the rotworms, and you need that announcer.
Believe me, I'm pretty confident that if SWTOR can do it, the ArenaNet team can pull it off. Believe me, I'm pretty sure that can happen.
Yeah, but this is an interesting question though, because we see it all the time. The feedback is, we need a new PvP mode. We want a new PvP mode. Give us Capture the Flag. Give us something. Give us Murder Ball. Give us something else. And you know, I just don't know if that fits the whole esport thing that's going on, right? Because you know, right now they can put these new maps in and put new maps in the rotations and stuff like that. But you have a whole bunch of different, you know, modes with all different rules and stuff like that. It's harder for spectators to follow. It's harder for the casters to cast. So I don't know. It's like, what is more important here? I don't know.
Definitely, esports is definitely on their mind, and they're pushing for that heavy. And to release a new custom map thing with like a new mode, it's probably not going to happen for a bit until like the esports kind of slims out. How was the tournament? Did anyone watch the tournament on Sunday? The esports tournament?
I caught a little bit of the replay. I didn't watch it live.
I was on an airplane, so not. The next change, this is really, really exciting. So all those achievement points that you guys have been saving up, well, it's time to cash those suckers out. Finally, exclusive new armor skins, weapon skins, and permanent account bonuses, as well as laurels, gems, gold, powerful items, and PvP and WVW rewards as your achievement score grows. So finally, right? I mean, it doesn't sound like they're skimping on options either of what you guys can do with these things.
This is the big one. This is the big part of the patch, right? This is the big meat and potatoes. This made me log in an alt.
Oh, really?
I'm typically a single player kind of guy, and I have an elementalist that I've been streaming with now and again, and having people run around with me. But this is like, because one of the easier ways to do achievements is to finish like different personal story chains and do different trade skills and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been more seriously logging in an alt because this is amazing. You know, it's not even being used as a currency. It's just when you hit certain thresholds, you unlock certain rewards. So again, another reason to just log in the game, play the way that you want to play, earn these achievements, and it's crazy. They actually released just a couple hours ago some more details about like what some of those permanent account bonuses and rewards are going to be, and it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. Permanent account bonuses, permanent magic find, experience for kills, karma gain. Oh my gosh, and the skins and armor. And I would like to. So now instead of now that, like, you know, they have legendaries as like a statement, like, oh, you played a lot of the game. now you're gonna have these, like for people who have so much achievement points for getting all those achievement points, they're actually gonna get something for it, like the unique titles that people wanted. I think the titles should be a little bit bigger though. The titles are a little bit too small. For the unique titles, definitely, I would like to see them kind of expand upon that. But I cannot wait. And now I'm kind of beating myself up that I was like, because I'm a type of person, I did not care about achievement points. I was like,
oh no,
okay. Now I don't have as much as I could have with all those events that have passed. You know, I skipped out on a couple of achievements that I don't need. Good thing they forced me to get achievements to get the rewards, because I wouldn't have none of the event achievements. No.
And I should mention before anybody freaks out, yes, they are 100%. The rewards will be granted retroactively. So before anyone rages, and could you imagine if they didn't? Like the internet would completely blow up. So
gosh.
Before anyone freaks out, 100%, these rewards will be granted retroactively. I don't know. I'm really a fan of this whole thing.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. One of the debates that's going up on the forums right now is though that there's achievements for doing like unique things, right? Like completing all the jumping puzzles, running all the dungeons, you know, killing people with different weapons and stuff like that. And then there's achievements that you can get like every day, right? Like if you do your daily, right, you get achievement points, and if you salvage, you know, countless numbers of items, you can continually get those achievement points and stuff like that. So there's some arguments on the forums right now about whether or not it should just be like those unique achievements that should count, or the achievements that, you know, you can kind of get over and over again should count. Because there are some players that have lots of achievement points because they've done everything in the game. They have tons of faults, and they've just, you know, basically, you know, just spent a lot of time playing the game. And then there's other players who have a lot. They might not have even seen a lot of the game, but they're consistently salvaging tons of materials and making sure they get their daily every day. So there's some debate on which one should count, but it looks like at this point that all of them are just going to count. So
can I kind of blow a little smoke up ANET's ass and kind of be a bit of a fanboy just a little bit for a second? No, because I think this is actually really important, because honestly, and I think this is worthy of bringing up, is that I think it's really awesome that they're really also giving the players armor and weapon skins, because that is something they could have easily put into the gem store. Like that was something that's what they sell. That's how they make money, right? That's a really nice gesture, especially when it falls into that category of like monetization.
Yeah. And especially because we know that this is like a point of trouble for them in terms of like creating new weapon skins quickly enough, right? This is definitely one of the slower things they have in terms of developing. Like the art team's got to design it, and they have to implement, you know, these skins across, you know, 3 different armor types, and every race and every gender it has to match. So it's definitely one of the things that takes a lot of time for them. And yeah, what is it? At least 2 new sets: the Radiant armor and Hellfire armor, and then a whole Zenith weapon set. So yeah, absolutely. Good on them for giving us something just for playing the game. And along that line, sorry to keep talking here, but we didn't mention this, but I think it was for the beginning of Dragon Bash. Anyone who had spent gems in the gem store from launch up until, like, I think the early June, they got a set of the mini pets for Dragon Bash for free. They just said, thanks for spending gems with us in the past. Here's a free thing. And it was a brand new item that they were offering on the gem store for people to buy, and they just gave it away for free. So there's another instance where it's, I don't know, I felt great opening that. I was like, yes, I got that.
Yeah, I put a smile on my face. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
What do you guys think of the concept? Like, what do you guys think of the concept of if the rewards were updated over time? Like, you know, if they were constantly updated, like you really give a person or people a reason to go after the achievements and play the game. If they were actually updated over time, wouldn't it? Would that?
You mean like extending it a little bit more?
Yeah, keep
like
extending
keep going
it,
up and up and up.
Yeah, and actually, you know, over time that the achievements and the rewards actually keep changing. So, you know, it kind of give you more incentive to keep playing and logging in on a more regular basis, so they're not just static.
I think that'll be great. A great way to add upon what they've been doing, like to get people to log in every day. They have the dailies and getting the laurels, right? And the completing the dailies give you achievement points, right? That otherwise you couldn't have received. Then as people play, the max amount that you can have keeps, growing and growing and growing. So after a certain amount of time, they can we have new achievement rewards. If you have this amount of achievements, now you get to get this crazy armor that only people that have that many achievements and have played explored everything and have played so much of the events get to have this. And I think that is quite amazing, and that's why I'm super pumped for this one right here. Super pumped.
Man, I hope when they launch it, they go way out, right? So because there's some people with 9,000 and 10,000 achievement points at this point. I hope they go way out with the rewards just to start, so that there's stuff to reach for, because they're putting out new achievements like every 2 weeks or so. So I hope they go way out so that the rewards sustain themselves for quite some time. But yeah, I definitely agree that should continue to add to it as time goes on, and keep that carrot dangling for people, because the other reward systems that they put out, they don't last forever. Like even the Laurel system, right? We're getting to the point where we're a couple months in. We're getting to the point where people have unlocked tons of Laurels. They probably bought everything off the Laurel vendor that they really want to go for, unless they're super into like the 2 mini pets and stuff that take forever. Yeah, like those have an end to it, and unless they go back and revisit all those like token vendors, like the dungeon rewards, the fractal rewards, the Laurel rewards, there's an end to it. So maybe with this achievement system, they can really just keep that going, so that you play the game, and you do all the new jumping puzzles, dungeons, PvP maps, all these different things that they add into the game, and you constantly have new rewards through the achievement system to go after.
Definitely an exciting update. We'll definitely be taking a look at the rewards in more detail on the next episode of GuildCast, so make sure to tune into that. On top of that, you don't want to forget this, the achievement, on top of the achievement rewards, they're actually overhauling the entire achievement UI. It's getting a pretty big overhaul, so it's going to be a lot easier to track special achievements, rewards, and things like that. So overall, very exciting update. Definitely going to go over the rewards on next episode.
Can I tell you what's exciting about the new UI? The other day I got an achievement. It just appeared on the right of my screen. I don't know what I did to get it, and then it was gone. And I'm looking through my achievement screen. Can't figure out what I just got. What was that achievement? So one of the new changes that they're making to the achievement system is they're gonna have like a summary page, which will actually show you recent achievements earned. Oh my god, I need that so bad, because I can't figure out what the hell's going on sometimes. So
ArenaNet, what the hell's going on sometimes? I have no idea. All right, next I want to talk about this interview with a French website, Game Guide FR. But first I want to tell you guys about a great deal we got going on with Shutterstock. Love the Shutterstock. You guys have a website, a YouTube channel, maybe make video content like Mr. Richard Procopio, Mr. Matt Visual. You probably need assets. You need assets to make your videos look kick-ass, and Shutterstock has those assets for you. We've been spending a ton of time in the past 2 days. We just, what is this? Look at these little guys. Oh, these guys? Wait, these guys look
super mega awesome
familiar
time.
For Super Mega Awesome Time, the brand new YouTube channel from Gamebreaker TV, Super Mega Awesome Time. Wow, wonder where they got those awesome little characters of Mike Shaftnett and Gary Gannon, who I guess that's supposed to be. Yep, that would be Shutterstock. I don't lie. We use Shutterstock constantly for Gamebreaker and freetoplay.tv. We're looking up lower thirds. We need like lower thirds, like these little things here. Go on Shutterstock. You should look them up. They've got animated lower thirds, things like that. So if you guys make YouTube videos, like I said, and you maybe want to take your videos to the next level and you want to kind of like, just spruce it up and just not like slap some terrible text on there, go over, make an account. I want to save you guys 30% off. All you got to do is use promo code Gamebreaker7 with your account. You're going to save 30% off on your account. I could go on for days and show you how much good stuff is on here, but I won't. There's so much good stuff. Actually, this is going to become this is the other asset we're going to use. So I'm going to use these totally over the top stars. Take out this text here. It's just sample text. Super, SMAT is going to go in here. So the logo is going to go in here with our guys. Then we're going to combine the two. We're going to combine our little guys. That's actually going to go here probably with the stars, but we just haven't had time to finish it yet. But that's where it's going. So check it out.
They didn't have one of those little guys in a yellow dress for Shaftnet.
They may have. We probably should have changed the color on that, which we can. That's actually the good thing about that. Actually, it's good to know. So these are all vectors, which is actually a great thing I should explain to people. So vector artwork is created in Illustrator. So all these little characters, you open these up in Illustrator, and you can resize. I should show them. That would be better. You can resize all of this stuff in Illustrator and Photoshop to like any size you want without losing any of the resolution. So you could blow these things up and make them gigantic for your video project or whatever, or your website, whatever you need. Doesn't lose any of the resolution. It's all Adobe Illustrator as a vector file. So these are perfect for stuff like that. We use a lot of the vectors. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Go over to Shutterstock.com. Use promo code Gamebreaker7. Got to use that promo code. Save yourself 30% off today. So glad to have these guys on as sponsors. Use it constantly. Love Shutterstock. All right. So like I was saying before, French website, it's game-guy.fr. They spoke with ArenaNet's lead content designer. Now, little disclaimer before we get into this. We're covering this with the power of Google Translate and no direct quotes. So it wasn't an easy one. But they asked Mike about PvE content for more than 5 players, and it was confirmed that they are working on this type of content. So confirmation, more than 5 player content coming. He says it'll be different from what we see in other games, and it'll be innovative, creative, and fun. I don't know exactly what that means, but yes, it sounds great. I guess that's opposed to being generic, bland, and boring, which would probably be a terrible quote. Probably a good call there to say it's going to be, innovative, creative, and fun. I don't know. So I tell you, I take this with a pinch of salt. There's no real details. We have nothing to go on, but it does back up what we've heard about 3 weeks ago from Snow Crash, doesn't it?
Yeah. Everyone's waiting, man. I know it's coming, man. All these updates have been pretty juicy on laying that ground floor for the game. So I'm waiting for that big content patch that really just does it. Like, oh my gosh, wow, they're adding something pretty crazy for the hardcore PvEers. So I'm waiting. This seems pretty cool. I would love to see how they do it. Definitely. Here's my question to both of you, though. I mean, we could get this, I guess, in a regular update, depending on how far this is out, but this could be a pretty possibly good selling point for an expansion, wouldn't it? Now, where do you think? It definitely has to be grouped with other things like new class, new weapons, and all that type of stuff. But yeah.
But what's your opinion? Do you think they'll hold something like this back for an expansion and then package it with some larger stuff, or do you think we're just going to see this in a regular update?
I don't think they would. Too many people are angry. They want PvE content. They want permanent PvE content. So I think it's a no-go with that. No-go with that.
No-go holding off on the expansion. Okay.
If anything, they would add another one for the expansion in a new area. But go ahead, Richie.
Yeah, I agree that I don't think they'll hold this particular feature back for an expansion. And by the way, like chat room is mentioning it too. There's been a bunch of developments today. There was a couple articles or an article that went out, I think on Eurogamer or whatever, that basically said somebody was quoting at ArenaNet that, hey, this is going so great in the living story that we may, we're not even thinking about an expansion. We may never have to do an expansion because we can do this. Now, just to clarify, in case anyone didn't know the latest, Colin Johansson did do some damage control on that front on the forums a couple hours ago and basically said, hey, we're not saying we're never going to do an expansion, or we actually have teams that are working on longer-term content, but basically what we're saying is, for right now, we're doing really well with this type of approach, and so he kind of covered the track. So I know there's people saying there's never going to be a Guild Wars expansion because a couple articles went out with that kind of title, but there has been clarification since then, and eventually they probably will do an expansion at some point. But I don't think this feature is something that they will hold back. I think Matt's right that it's definitely something, we have guild missions for PvE, large groups, but we need more, and this is definitely going to fill a hole. And I can't wait to see how, what their spin is on it, because I don't think it's going, it's definitely not going to be raiding like the World of Warcraft sense. So I can't wait to see what kind of spin they put on it.
Hey, how did this thing sneak up on us? This is a new jumping puzzle that just sneaked into Gendaran Fields. How did that happen?
It's part of. I mean, this is part of how they're going to be doing the content, right? So the people that did the Sky Pirates, the team that's responsible for the Sky Pirates update, they're responsible for 2 updates. So the one that went out a couple weeks ago was putting in a lot of the Sky Pirates in the dungeon and stuff like that, and then their second part of their release is a new Sky Pirates jumping puzzle. So.
This was just like a minor patch though, right? Like we didn't miss this last week. They just added it in like a minor patch for some reason. What's the theme of it? Is it more Sky Pirates?
Yes. It's more Sky Pirates, and it brought in some of the gears and bumpers from the Dragon Ball event as well.
Have either of you guys completed it? I'm hearing it's a pretty it's a pretty tough. It's pretty challenging.
Brutal.
Is it brutal?
It's brutal.
Yes.
For me, it was. I don't. It doesn't look hard, right? At its surface, it's like, okay, all you have to do is do this, jump on that, very easy. But it's almost like it's a little glitchy sometimes. You just fall, and I think it's because I'm a Norn that it's the issue. It's because I'm a Norn, and the camera just whacks out on me, and I fall, and I flip out, and I spent like 3 hours completing that thing. And I did the full one. It's rough. It's definitely rough.
I suck at jumping puzzles, and I'm still working on a video that I'm going to release. I had my son sitting next to me while I'm doing this, and as I died over and over again, he starts trolling me. Dad, you stink at this.
Oh, that's great.
But it is definitely one of the harder jumping puzzles in the game. And what's really rough about it is there are some points where if you miss the jump, not only do if you're lucky, someone's around you to res you, and you still have to redo a lot of what you did. But a lot of times you fall, you die. There is no way anyone's going to get to you, and you are either using a revive orb from the gem store, or you're going to a waypoint and running back and starting all over again. So it's definitely a little bit of an ass kick.
Well, I mean, looking at the reward, I mean, there's a level 80 exotic shoulder piece that comes along with this, which is awesome. So, I mean, I would, if they're gonna give us such an awesome reward, they should make that thing pretty damn challenging.
Right. I like the jumping puzzles just for the atmosphere, just for something to beat and have that achievement there. Like, oh, I beat this jumping puzzle, so I enjoy jumping puzzles just for that. That's some of the content that I actually like. That I just do it just for the sake of doing it, not for the reward. Like I kind of consider dungeons that way. It's like, I'll do it for the first time and that's it. But for jumping puzzles, I come back to it on live streams and stuff like that. So it was pretty crazy.
You're having trouble. You're talking about characters over because you're having trouble with your norm. So like the difficulty is definitely not the most controversial thing about this jumping puzzle this week. So the controversy surrounding this thing is it turns out that mesmers are apparently OP. What's happening there?
They keep jumping down from the chest and porting everybody up. So they cheat. They cheat because the chest, you can see the chest.
When you say the cheat, did you call this exploit or clever use of mechanics? I mean,
clever use of mechanics.
Has ArenaNet said anything about this?
Not from what I can see. No.
This has just been since the game's come out, right? Mesmers, even if they're doing the jumping puzzle by themselves, they can do a safety net using their portal every once in a while. They can create a portal, do a jump, and if they miss it, they can go right back up. So they definitely have an easier time doing it, and it's just something that's been known. But right now, for a jumping puzzle like this, which is clear that there's a certain percentage of the population would probably not be able to do this on their own, they're becoming like these heroes on the server. And there's mesmers that are just teaming up and sitting at the jumping puzzle for hours just to help other people get their reward.
They should charge money for it. It'd be great. They could charge like a toll fee.
I was surprised that I haven't seen that, but a lot of people just port it. And like I have to go through, like I said, I was doing a video for it, so I had to do it legitimately for the video. I will admit that I've used these mesmer portals on an alt to get through it, just to get the shoulder piece and stuff like that. But I kind of would like them to put out a jumping puzzle like this and just disallow mesmer portals. I know people are going to flame me for that or whatever, but especially like something like this with Aether Blades, right? They're using Asura magic, the Inquest. There's all these things. They could say something about it to kind of why that would be the case. There's like portal dampeners or something like that. But make it so that everybody that gets the reward actually had to get the reward. You know,
sounds like it sounds like a little bit of a screw up on ArenaNet's part. I mean, it sounds like something they should change and kind of like, you know, like you said, not allow portals and stuff. I don't know. See, we're not fanboys. Not totally.
All they had to do is just make sure the chest is far away from where the newbies are that can't get across a certain part. That's all you have to do. I mean, it's not that hard to change that. For this one, the chest was right there. Like, it's like you can see the chest. You can see everyone grouped up on it. Like, it was easy to portal. All you had to do is put a portal down, jump down, and lay the portal down. It was just that easy.
By the way,
all they had to do is make it far away, and it would have solved the problem.
By the way, I put this on Twitter last night. There was a video out there that made me laugh, like I almost spit my soda out. There's a Mesmer who put a portal down for people to jump in, and then put the opposite portal, not at the end chest, but on one of those like jumper pads. So all of a sudden, like 15 people poured in, and then the jumper hits, and they get scattered and fall to their deaths. The video is absolutely hilarious to watch.
Wow!
Why do I think everyone watching this show right now is looking for that video and going to go in, and every Mesmer is going to be like, "I'm doing that tonight."
I'm making me a Mesmer now.
There you go. Now rolling new characters. Matt Visual, follow him on Twitter at Matt_Visual. Got to make sure the underscore is in there. Matt_Visual. And of course, you can check out his YouTube channel at youtube.com/MattVisual. Matt Visual. Richie Procopio, follow him on the Twitter at Richie Procopio, just like it sounds. And of course, go over to his YouTube channel, which is Bog Otter, youtube.com/Bog Otter. Go over there and check out all that great content out. And of course, you can check out both these guys every single Wednesday right here on Gamebreaker TV for GuildCast, which we do live every Wednesday at 6 PST. We'll be back again next week for some more Guild Wars 2 action. Make sure to check out our brand new website, freetoplay.tv as well. Freetoplay.tv, freetoplay.tv, and go to our facebook.com/Gamebreaker TV. Have a great week. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for more GuildCast.